We get what passive income is, pretty much guaranteed monthly income coming in every single month. That comes in kind of regardless of whether we do a ton of work or not. We talked about why real estate agents need passive income. I don't think it's a nice thing to have. I think it's a need. If you want to have a nice life, peaceful life, a less stressful life, and you want to stay in real estate over the long haul, I think that you need, not want, passive income. Welcome, everybody, to Agent Investor, the only brand that helps real estate agents get off that real estate roller coaster. Today, we're going to be talking about exactly that. How do you get off that real estate roller coaster? How do you earn passive income? Why do you need passive income specifically for real estate agents? And what is passive income? You know, if you've heard the phrase passive income, or maybe you've read a book, or maybe you have thought about passive income, I want to first kind of define it, at least my definition of what passive income is. I'm sure if you go on Google, you'll read a variety of different things. But when I think about passive income, I think about income coming in typically on a monthly basis, but the frequency doesn't really matter that much. Income coming in pretty much every single month, or potentially every single week, or potentially every single quarter, that you didn't necessarily have to wake up and work for, right? As compared to what we call active income. So, active income is whether you have a job or whether you run a business. For the most part, if you have a job, you have a W-2 job, if you don't show up to work, you're probably going to get fired. You're probably not going to get paid. And for the vast majority of business owners, including real estate professionals, including real estate agents, if we just stop doing stuff on a day-to-day basis, we're not going to make any money. So why passive income? Like, why do we want passive income? Well, I guess in general, passive income, especially if you have enough of it coming in every single month, allows us to live the life that we want to live. Now, I don't care whether you have a W-2 job that you love. I don't care if you own a business that you love. In many cases, both of those things do not give you 100% freedom and flexibility to be where you want and do what you want. And I can tell you, even from my perspective, being in real estate, loving being in real estate, different periods of your life, things change. And I've got 4 kids. I've got an 11-year-old daughter, an 8-year-old son, 7-year-old son, and a 4-year-old son. And while when I was in my 20s, I used to love to work 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, love real estate. My priorities have changed a little bit. And I'm fortunate enough that I have monthly income coming in every single month so that I don't necessarily have to put in those hours if I don't want to. Or just to have the ability to say, hey, I want to take a week off. I want to take 2 weeks off. I want to just take a random day off, and I can. So passive income is when you have income coming in each and every month, regardless of whether or not you decide to wake up at 7, 8, 9 o'clock and get to work and grind. Passive income is income that comes in every single month that you didn't really have to put, any hours into, or at least not a ton of hours into. So there are many types of passive income. And I'll list off just a couple to give you guys an example. But most of the time, when you hear the phrase passive income, when it comes to real estate, you're either thinking about owning a rental property, typically, or you're thinking about investing maybe into a syndication. But that's not the only types of passive income that exists, right? So you could very well have a pension, right? You could have had a job where you now have a pension. You could have been a teacher, you could have been a police officer, you could have been whatever. And then all of a sudden you hit a certain age and you've got guaranteed monthly income coming in, right? So one more thing I should say about passive income is that ideally the passive income is going to kind of last forever. So in the terms of like the pension, or something like that, or whether you own a rental property or a syndication or whatever you have, whatever types of passive income you have, it kind of just goes on forever. So another type of passive income that you could have is You've got money, you putting into a CD, you've got money, you putting into a dividend paying stock, and that pays you every single month. I mean, if we think about it as simple as this, I know this is going to be, an example that isn't going to help a lot of people right now, but if you had, 15, $20 million and you just putting into a treasury bill or you putting into a dividend paying stock, you'd have a ton of passive income coming in each and every month. So passive income can be generated via pensions. It can be generated via using your capital to put into a CD, put your capital into the bank, put your capital into a dividend paying stock. Passive income can come from rental properties. It can come from putting your money into syndications. Passive income can even come from examples like royalties. Like you're on a TV show or you're a musician and you get paid every time a song gets played. Well, guess what? You did a lot of upfront work, and now you get paid pretty much for the rest of your life. So those are just some examples of passive income. I could give more, but again, if you think about all of those, if you think about like having a ton of money, putting into a CD and just getting paid every single month, you really don't have to do a lot. Like if you had a ton of capital and you got paid every single month, like you could live a really good life. If you had a really high paying pension that paid you every single month until you passed away, you could live really well, probably for the rest of your life. But the thing about passive income that's kind of important to understand is that most forms of passive income don't get created very quickly, except for real estate. I'm going to say that again, and this is why when most people hear about passive income, they really talk about real estate more than the other types of passive income. Because just to give the example, let's say that you're a teacher and you're going to get a pension. It's going to be a good pension. You get maybe the highest of your 3 years and whatnot. Well, yeah, maybe you get that when you're in your 50s, in your 60s, in your 70s, however, it takes to retire. But that doesn't really help you when you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or maybe even 50s. And even then, that pension might not be enough to survive off of. And it goes without saying, if you have enough money to generate a ton of passive income via stocks or via CDs or whatever, you're not really in a position where you need to really do a lot different. And most of us are not in that position, right? So even if we have some capital, even if we had, $1 million in the bank, that's typically not going to get us enough passive income to where we can just kind of do whatever we want, whenever we want. So that leads back to kind of real estate and why passive income from real estate is so impactful, because you can generate a ton of passive income via real estate in a 3, 5, 10-year period, no matter what age you are and no matter how much capital you have to start. In fact, to earn passive income in real estate, you don't need to start with any money, and you don't need like a pension to put any certain amount of years, into the job. So that's what passive income is. At Agent Investor, especially when people join our inner circle, my objective is to help people earn enough passive income on a monthly basis through real estate so that they can work when they want, they can take time off when they want to take time off, and so that no matter what happens with the real estate market, you're going to be in a good spot. So that gets to my second point, why do real estate agents need passive income? The first and the most obvious thing to me as to why real estate agents need passive income, not like should want it, not it's a cool thing to have, but need it, is diversification. So I've said this on a lot of my, recent presentations, recent podcasts, but in the last few years, I have seen more top producing agents leave selling real estate to go get a job than ever before, because it's kind of a combination of two things. Number one, the job market's really good right now. So there's a lot of great jobs available, a lot of high paying jobs available. And with the transaction count down so much, in some areas across the country, it's down 25, 30, 40%. that a lot of top producing agents who have made six figures or more can no longer afford to be in real estate. So to me, that's the number one reason why you want to earn passive income as a real estate agent, to guarantee that if you love real estate sales and you want to be in real estate sales for the long run, that you're going to be able to be in real estate sales. And I'd love to kind of give you names, but I don't want to, put anybody out there that wouldn't want to. But I've got real estate agents right now in our inner circle program that haven't had their best couple of years in sales, but because they own rental assets, they're still in real estate. They don't have any plans to look for a job, and they're just going to continue to try to build their business. And now when transactions pick up, there'll be less agents in the industry. They're going to do even better, right? The other component to it, specifically for real estate agents, is just what we, call, and I talk about all the time, the real estate roller coaster. You can have a pretty good year as a real estate agent, but in general, your income is going to be all up and down and up and down no matter what. Like even if you sell 20, 30, 40, 50 houses a year or more, your income is not going to come in at the same amount every single month. And I don't really care who you are, but if you haven't had a closing in a month or 2 months or 3 months, you're starting to feel the pressure there. Again, unless you're independently wealthy or you've got something else going on. And what that passive income allows you to do is it takes that pressure off. If you have 5, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 a month coming in for passive income from real estate, you're not sweating out your next deal. The other reason why agents really, in my opinion, need passive income is because it allows you to build your business the right way. And I can remember when I first starting in real estate, didn't have a ton of clients, needed every dollar. I was taking clients, buyers all over the place. I was showing buyers houses 90 minutes away, 2 hours away, an hour away. I kind of knew at the time that didn't really make a lot of sense, but I needed the money. So I did it. And, also real estate agents oftentimes work with tough clients that you should fire, but don't because you need that commission check, right? So in addition to that, real estate professionals, like we don't know what's going to happen with commissions over the next 5 to 10 years. I'm not going to speculate on what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how the NAR settlement's going to play out. I don't know how players like Zillow and Trulia and all these other companies and Realtor.com are going to impact commission structures, if at all. But I do know this. I do know that there's a possibility that there could be a negative change on the way that agents could be paid. And I don't want to panic. Like I would never recommend panicking. I want to get out of real estate sales. But I would say, if you had 5 or 10 or 15 or $20,000 a month or more of passive income coming in every month, that makes your life a lot easier, makes your life a lot less stressful, right? So I could kind of go on and on, not to mention just that, agents, you guys work nights and weekends, which is cool, like sometimes, but probably don't always want to be working nights and weekends. And again, if you have passive income coming in, you could build a team. You can make it so that you only work listings. You can have people working your open houses. There's a lot of ways to kind of build a great business if you don't need every single dollar, if you don't need every single opportunity. So I think a lot of people who have listened to this, the message probably resonates. You've probably listened to some of my podcast episodes in the past. You probably get all this, right? So we get what passive income is. It's monthly, pretty much guaranteed monthly income coming in every single month. That comes in kind of regardless of whether we do, a ton of work or not. We talked about why real estate agents need passive income. And again, I don't think it's a nice thing to have. I think it's a need. I think it's a need. If you want to have, a nice life, peaceful life, a less stressful life, and you want to stay in real estate over the long haul, I think that you need, not want, passive income. So let's talk now kind of about how to get it, right? And this is the part, there's nobody I've ever met that's ever come to one of my conferences, listened to one of my podcasts, or that I've met in person that has ever said to me, "Oh, Tom, I understand what passive income is, but I don't want it." Everybody wants passive income. The question is, how do we get it? And in a lot of cases, there are honestly misunderstandings about what it takes to get passive income. There's a lot of preconceived notions. There's just a lot of misinformation out there. Um, and the most common thing that I get from agents when I talk about investing in real estate is I'm not ready yet, not ready yet to invest. And oftentimes I find, and I'm just being, completely honest with all of the listeners here, I find that a lot of people are not open to even hearing about it, which is a shame, right? They have something in their head, and it's usually, by the way, that they're either too busy to invest in real estate or that they don't have the money. And the next, for probably the rest of this video right now, I'm going to spend time talking about how to overcome both of those things, because you don't need a ton of time, to earn passive income in real estate. And you definitely don't need money. You don't need any money to start. I started with no money, probably started with about $5,000 in my bank account and credit card debt. And I did it. So it's doable. In fact, unless you have 10, 20, $30 million or more, having some money to start isn't going to really make too much of a difference. And I'll explain why. So again, we know what passive income is. We know why agents need it. So we now need to figure out, or I need to explain, how can you do this if you don't already have a pension, or a pension's not going to come in like a year, or you don't have music that's going to pay you on a monthly basis. You don't have a TV show that's going to pay you on a monthly basis. And you don't have millions of dollars in the bank to earn interest income or dividend income. And again, that goes to real estate and how we do it in real estate. Okay. So most people will ask, like, how could you ever invest in real estate passively without having any capital? And I'm going to give you guys kind of a few examples here. There's really three ways to kind of do it. The first way is to become a capital raiser. And a lot of you know that I've raised $20+ million to fund the apartment projects that we do, to fund prior passive income deals in the past. And I'm a big believer in raising capital. It makes a lot of sense. And the high level premise of it is pretty simple. That if you know how to own, operate, and manage real estate the right way, you can provide an opportunity for people to invest in your projects and provide them with a rate of return that they can't get by investing their money in a treasury bill or putting their money in the bank. And there is definitely a pretty big need for people out there that have money but don't want to own, operate, and manage real estate. It's how I manage. That's how I raised the $20 million. And a lot of people that are out there, there are quite a few people out there that have capital, want to earn good returns, but don't want to own, operate, and manage real estate. And if you're listening to this right now, you're either going to fall into one of those two categories. Like, if you had capital to invest, you're either going to say, I would love to own the asset, operate it, manage it, and get a return, or I would prefer somebody else do that and me to get the return. There's no right or wrong way to that, but when you are raising capital to fund your own deals, that is what you are providing. You are providing a solution for somebody that has capital, wants to get a good rate of return, but doesn't want to do the acquisition, the renovation, the management, and dealing with tenants and headaches and all that good stuff. Raising capital is not an easy thing. If you think about this kind of logically, most people are not going to want to invest in one of your projects unless you have a good track record. So it's kind of a catch-22 here. When we were starting, we started out by, doing our projects, having a track record, and then we were slowly but surely able to raise capital into our deals. But the reason I'm mentioning this is that if you are going to go the route of being the one that puts the deals together, you find the deal, you renovate it, you own it, you operate it, you manage it, you can go out there and you can raise capital. And there are a ton of resources that are out there on exactly how to do that. Okay. I found that most people don't want to be capital raisers. It's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world. It's not my favorite task within my own business, but I do it because I know I have to. But that is one way to do it. So again, keep in mind, like, what are we trying to accomplish here? We're trying to get guaranteed monthly passive income coming in. How do you do it? You can go out, you can buy assets, you can renovate them, you can manage them, and you can use other people's capital and provide them a rate of return. That's how, the bulk of bigger real estate transactions get done. A lot of these management, like bigger, assets that you see out there, it's typically not just one owner. It's typically made up of multiple people. Okay. So that's one way to do it. Again, not the most common way for real estate agents, not the easiest path. I'm happy to help anybody or answer any questions as to how you might go about doing it, but we don't have enough time here to cover it. The second way is to find the deals and get yourself cut into deals because you've got great assets to invest in. So the last two apartment deals that we did, as an example, were really good deals that were brought to us by other people that we then cut into the transaction. So I'll explain to you kind of how that works. The first deal was a deal in Nashua, New Hampshire. We're doing about 80 units. It's actually almost complete. And we were brought that deal by somebody who was in our Inner Circle program. And they came to us. They said, "Hey, do you want to partner with us on the deal?" And, why does somebody want to potentially partner with us on the deal? Well, they wanted us to be responsible for getting the capital into the deal. It was a $4 million raise. Our team, got the money. We used some of our own money. We raised some of our money. We raised some, money to do it. And the deal is that they brought us the deal. They helped to manage the construction on the deal, and they're going to manage it on the back end. And then we did a split on that deal. So keep in mind that in that example, that person that brought us that deal, that provided other value to the deal, did not put up any capital, or they put up minimal capital. And now they're going to get paid monthly, returns every single month once we own and operate that asset. Okay. Another deal that was just brought to us that we're syndicating right now is in Hooksett, New Hampshire. It's about 70 units, ground up new construction with some commercial bays as part of it. This was somebody else who actually was a lender that we work with, heard of the deal, brought the deal to us. That's all they did was bring the deal to us, and they're getting cut into that deal. Okay. So doing it that way is not going to be kind of like the most tried and true method. Obviously, you have to find great deals. Then you have to have somebody on the other side that's willing to cut you into those deals. I'm only mentioning those two examples that you could raise capital yourself or you could find deals, not because I necessarily am going to recommend it as a replicatable model, but just that you could do that. The third way that is definitely the most common, the method that I recommend and teach on all the time, is what I call the agent investor model. Now, this model is a model that anybody who's listening to this can do. There are reasons why you may struggle to raise capital. Like if you don't have a track record, you're going out there, you're trying to raise capital, it's not easy. Raising capital also takes a lot of time. Like it literally takes meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. And the second way that I mentioned, like finding a deal and finding people who would cut you into a deal, like you're going to have to spend time doing that. But this third way, the agent investor model that I teach on and talk about all the time, is not only something that doesn't take up a lot of time, but it's something that I've seen people do over and over again. And it's something that we did. So the agent investor model has three components. The first component is sell real estate to make a living. If you're a real estate agent, you like selling real estate, I would never recommend that you stop selling real estate because you need passive income. In fact, you should continue to sell real estate to pay your bills. The second step is to flip homes. Now, most of you know by now, if you listen to the podcast for long enough, you know that we have our agent partnership program. And we've partnered with 60 agents over the past 18 months. I want to partner with 100 agents over the next 12 months. I'm trying to pick up the pace there. I want to partner with 2 agents per week. And regardless of whether you want to partner with us or not and split the profits, or whether you want to do them on your own, fixing and flipping properties for big chunks of income is going to get you the money that you need to then earn passive income. Most of the people that are listening right now, if you're listening to a growth-oriented podcast, you probably don't yet have $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $40,000 a month of passive income. And the question is, like, how do you get there? And yes, you could raise capital and put yourself into deals that way. Or yes, you could find killer deals and get yourself cut into deals that way. Or you could follow the agent investor model and not really do a lot outside of what you normally do on a day-to-day basis and earn big chunks of income that you can either use to invest in your own assets or invest in syndications. Okay. So I should mention now that every single week we do an agent investor partnership call where we help people learn how to find deals, where we help people learn how the partnership works, where we answer questions live about partnering and generating seller opportunities. If you are interested in jumping on that call, make sure that you register today at www.partnerwithagentinvestor.com. Again, that's www.partnerwithagentinvestor.com. It's a live call every single week. So with that being said, the agent investor model of selling real estate for a living, fixing and flipping either on your own or splitting the deals with us, and then investing that capital to earn passive income is what I would suggest, and it's what almost every agent can do. So let's go into a little bit of detail on the model. Obviously, selling real estate to pay your bills, you get. The fixing and flipping part requires a little bit more attention. So first, you've got to decide, number one, like, am I going to flip on my own or am I going to partner with Tom and his team? If you already fix and flip homes, then it's just a matter of, do you have deal overflow that you can send to us? Do you have a deal in an area that's too far away? Like we cover all of New England and we'll actually consider going all over the US. But if you are not yet fixing and flipping homes, it almost definitely makes sense to partner with us at least on your first one. So all of that sounds great, but then, how do you actually do this? Well, you've got to generate good opportunities. You've got to generate opportunities for fix and flip deals. How do you do that? Well, here's the beauty of agent investor and the agent investor model. In order to generate great fix and flip opportunities, all that you need to do is get better at seller lead generation, getting into more people's home. And again, on that call that I do every single week, I go into a lot more detail on this. But agents come across deals by accident. But then in addition, they should in my opinion, take a little bit more of an active approach to generate more seller opportunities per week. So how does this kind of like translate into the passive income component? Well, the average partnership deal that we do with agents generates $80,000 of income, of which, of course, we're splitting that 50-50, which means that on average, we are cutting checks to agents when they partner with us for $40,000. Okay. So here's the thing. If you're selling real estate for a living to pay your bills, most likely you're not going to save up a ton of money in order to use that money and save it to buy an asset, a multifamily or some sort of passive asset, short-term rental, or you're not going to save enough money to then invest in assets that are going to pay you forever. Okay. So the partnership model comes into play because if you come across a deal as an agent by accident, whether it's on your own listing appointment or whether it's an agent in your office that has a fix and flip opportunity, however you come across it, that's something that is not going to take up any more of your time. Like, it's the same amount of time to do your job and just keep your eyes open for these deals. But what I suggest highly and strongly is that you also then take the approach of trying to generate more seller opportunities on your own on a weekly basis. Now, this is a win-win. This is a huge win-win because what do more seller appointments mean for you as an agent? Well, you're either going to get a listing or you're going to get a fix and flip opportunity. And what we found that about 20% of all sellers would prefer to sell to an investor, which is going to turn into a flip. And then 80% of all sellers are going to understand the benefits of selling to an investor, but they're going to want to get max money. So they're going to put their property on the MLS. So again, how does this therefore translate? Well, if you get 2 fix and flip opportunities per year and you partner with us, that's 80 grand that goes to you that you can then use to either put down as a down payment on some asset, whether it be a multifamily, a short-term rental, et cetera, or you use that 80 grand and invest in syndications like ours or like somebody else's to get you that guaranteed monthly rate of return. So what we've actually calculated this out. To earn 6 figures of passive income every year, you've got to have a little bit over $500,000, right? Somewhere between 5 and 650, depending on exactly what you do with it. Now, don't quote me specifically on this. I'm talking high level here. So what does that actually mean, right? So if you partner with us, on 2 deals per year, to keep it conservative, right? It'll take you somewhere between 6 and 7 years to earn $100,000 per year of passive income, whether you own the assets or invest in syndications like what we offer. And that's if you do 2 per year, right? That's if you don't do anything crazy. And in my opinion, any agent can do that, right? So no matter how old you are right now, fast forward 6 years from now and say, hey, if I kind of just follow this model and I don't do anything crazy and I don't spend a ton of extra time, am I going to be happy 6 years from now if I have $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 a month of passive income coming in? If so, what I would suggest doing is jumping on that call at www.partnerwithagentinvestor.com. And I'm going to go into a lot more details on exactly how to do that. Now, again, we're talking a little bit hypothetically. There's reality to what I'm saying, but a little bit hypothetical. But let's say you do 4 partner deals with us in a year, or maybe you flip one on your own and you do 2 partner deals with us per year. Now you're looking at more like a 2, 3, 4-year window to get that $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 per month of passive income coming in every single month. So to me, that's something that every agent can do. Every agent can find a few fix and flip opportunities per year, bring as many of them to us as you want, do as many on your own as you want. And as long as you're then utilizing that money and investing it the right way, investing it into assets, you're going to get there. So again, I talked today about 3 different ways to earn passive income through real estate. What I should highlight here is the last one is going to be the easiest. It's the most common. The other 2 are definitely going to involve more work, more learning. The third one is you're going to do a lot of the same stuff that you already do and maybe take a more aggressive approach to generating seller opportunities every week. Our team goes on about 100 to 150 seller appointments every week. We teach and train people on how to do the same. Maybe not necessarily go on that many in a week, of course, but teach and train agents how to get 1, 2, 3 in a week, right? That would change your business. That would change your life. That would change just your regular real estate business, never mind the passive income component. So, I think what I want to just make sure that I highlight today is just that, passive income is the key to wealth. Passive income is something that I think all agents need. Passive income is something that anybody can do. Like everything that I described today is stuff that anybody can do. The agent investor model is something that any agent can follow, but it does take, some hard work, some dedication, and first acknowledging like, yes, I want to do this. Yes, for me, for my family, for my loved ones, like I do want to do something in addition to just selling real estate. And for a lot of people, it starts there. Like you have to understand that there is a very high probability that if you just sell real estate, you're going to sell real estate for the rest of your life. You're going to be 75, 80 years old, driving out to properties and opening doors. If you're okay with that, that's cool. But, for me, especially now, like I mentioned in the beginning, where I've got 4 young kids, the fact that I did this on the younger side, the fact that I started to invest passively on the younger side at an earlier age has allowed me to live the life that I want to live, right? Has allowed me to have my wife not have to work, has allowed me to have, two really great homes, has allowed me to work when I want, when I don't want. It's not that I don't want to work. I do want to work, but I want to work more on my terms. And I want to make sure, more importantly, that I'm there and available for my kids. And guess what? Like at some point, I'm going to be older. I'm 42 years old right now. I still have a bunch of energy. Some point I may not, right? So what I'm willing to do today, I may not want to do, far into the future. So I hope that everybody, that listened to this will commit to taking the next step to earning passive income. To me, it's jumping on that weekly call, www.partnerwithagentinvestor.com. I'm going to share with you guys on that call a ton of resources on how to generate seller appointments, on how you can partner with us, and how you can really work the agent investor model, even better. So the call is free. There's nothing in there. There's no sales pitch in there. It's just, how do you build your business? Because again, and I've said this like at presentations and stuff, like what's my number one objective in my business right now? I want to do 100 partner deals with the agents in the next 12 months. So everything that I do, that I provide is to get that to happen. So the training's free, the education's free. There's no sales pitch necessary. I'm going to teach and train because I want you guys to bring me deals. I get that not everyone's going to bring me a deal. I get that you might use my information to do your own deals. That's totally cool. So I appreciate you guys listening today. Always here to help. www.partnerwithagentinvestor.com.